Now let's talk about the proper way to hold these calls. Now we're going to start by taking the insert and we're going to put it in the web space between the thumb and the index finger, just like that. And then you can curl your hand around and we're going to open the hand up just a little bit. Now when you press it to your lips, just imagine that you're drinking out of a Coke. You're going to take the barrel and you're going to place it to your bottom lip, and it's going to go slightly to the inside of the lips, not just pressed on the outside, slightly to the inside to make sure that you get the air sealed off like this. Now, when we're talking about blowing into a duck call, it is all about air presentation. And for you guys that are already experienced duck callers, you may want to go through this with us, because 9 times out of 10, if I'm working with somebody and they're having trouble making a sound on their call, it is usually because they're presenting their air incorrectly. Now, when we talk about air presentation, what we want to do with the call is we don't want to blow loose air into it like this. If you do that, you're never going to get the sounds that you're looking for. What we want to do is work with air that's under pressure. And what I mean by that is simply this. Take a deep breath and hold it. At that point, when you're holding your breath, you now have air that's under pressure. And now we just need to work on how we're going to release that air gradually and push it through the call. Now we want to maintain our airway in an open position, and we're also going to talk about how we use our tongue, how we have the tongue sitting in the mouth, and how we use it to begin and shut off our notes.
Hello. Kill the drakes, boys.
Now when we're talking about the basic quack, keep in mind that everything we do with the duck call is based off of the quack. So don't just blow through this. This is very important. With the exception of the feed, everything else is built on this. So with the basic quack, we're going to pressurize our air, take a deep breath and hold it, and we're going to make sure that the air comes up from the diaphragm. Now, I like to tell people to use a word whenever they're presenting air into the call. Some people will say use the word hut or quit or ack, anything like that. And obviously we're not vocalizing into the call. This is just to help you with your air presentation. What I like to use is the words gwit and quack. And I know those are not real words, but that's what we do here in Arkansas. We don't have a word for something, we just make one up. So if I'm using the word gwit or the word quack, and I'll alternate them so you can hear that there's a little bit of a difference. That gives us 2 slight variations of the basic quack. Okay, now so you understand what I'm actually putting into the call. I'm going to turn the call around backwards so you can hear what I am actually putting into the call. All right, now if you'll notice, you hear a grunt on the first of the note. You hear a grunt and then it's straight air coming after that. And this is the reason that I like using the word gwit or quack, because that G sound triggers you to get that grunt on the front of the note. Now, what you do not want to do is growl into the call. So you do not hear any voice in it like this. You notice how you hear my voice. If I do that through the call, then it makes it way too coarse. So you want to stay away from that. Just a simple grunt and then air. Now you'll notice whenever I'm blowing the quack that I'm opening and closing my hand. And we refer to this as throwing notes. Now, if I leave my hand open, and this is how I'd recommend that you start blowing the quack. Just leave your hand open like this, and we're going to do the gwit sound and quack sound. Now, one thing that I can do to make it sound more natural is to close my hand and open it. you'll notice how it gives it a more natural quack sound. Now all I'm doing is when I close my hand down, it's putting back pressure on the call, and when I open the hand, it's taking the pressure away. And what you want to do is just barely catch the front of the note before you open your hand to give it that natural sound. Now I'm going to exaggerate it. This is going to sound terrible, but this is what you're trying to do. But I'm going to catch the front of the note. Just gives it a more natural ducky sound. All right, so let's practice together. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna blow a quack, and then I want you to blow one right behind me and try to match my sounds, okay? So let's just alternate. So gwit, quack, keep working on this until you get it perfect.